The 284 type locomotive, also called Berkshires, with some exceptions, was a locomotive that, although was more common along the east coast of the United States, still served the railroads they served faithfully and reliably. Lima Locomotive Works conceived the 284 type to help with the issue of both speed and horsepower by adding a trailing axle beneath the firebox to support a larger firebox, therefore giving the engines more power. And oh boy, did this work tremendously! Several railroads would order many Berkshire types, and although they were primarily east of the Mississippi River, some Berkshires did make it west of the Mississippi too. In this video, I will be covering every 284 type from North America, and as usual, railroads that didn't originally order 284s, but bought them from other railroads are included. Without further ado, here is every North American 284 type described in 15 words or less. Both originals and exiles that were kicked off the Boston and Maine hated them so much that they sold them to the ATSF and SP later on. Fast freight steamers for the C&O and the most survivors of the 284s. Boston and Albany copies that were reliable coal haulers yet still forgotten. Used for the very type of territory they were designed for, but still forgotten about. All purchased from 3 different builders and shifted to Erie's freight operations. But Erie was bankrupt. Later tried to rebuild them into Hudson's and then just rebuilt them without wheel changes. Big Emmas that served the L&N greatly, but the KRM didn't have room for 1992. Copied the B&A's homework, but with the addition of a doghouse on the tender. Built for 2 of NYC's subsidiaries, but still traveled the NYC itself. Reliable freight haulers for the nickel plate and now the backbone of the FWRHS. Built for the war effort, sent to Mexico, and none were preserved, sadly. The only survivors of the Paramarquette steam, with one now the spirit of Christmas itself. Yeah, sorry, I had to. Also, actually, it's still November. Nickel plate and Paramarquette copies built for the war, and immediately forgotten afterwards. Exiles kicked off the B&M that were fitted with whaleback tenders. To think that these were tank engines and not tender engines, no less. Helped the railroad's existing 282s and 462s, and died anyways. Copies of the C&O 284s, and once again, built for the war. Copied the nickel plate's homework, went to the nickel plate, and died. Alright, that's it for this video.
Wait, that's it? That's all the Berkshires?
Yeah, surprisingly, not that many railroads bought Berkshires despite their advantages.
Okay. But is there a wheel type you haven't talked about that you could easily do?
Well, the 464 doesn't have that many owners, and I could easily do the 464s in the next few minutes.
Okay then, talk about the 464s.
I didn't say I will do them right.
Have fun.
Actually, you know what? Turn the music back on for now. There we go. So, since my audience requested it, I guess we'd be talking about the 464s now. The 464 type, often referred to as Hudsons, although they were sometimes described as Baltics, was a wheel type that from the 1920s to the 1950s, one would have likely found on passenger trains for the most part. The 464 would often come in to replace and or supplement 462 Pacifics on passenger trains. though the Hudsons would later be supported by other types like 482s and 484s later on, but they served many trains until the end of steam. Fortunately, several Hudsons are still around, although very few were in excursion service. But that's besides the point. In the second half of this video, I'll be talking about the 464 types. As usual, originals and non-buyers who later got Hudsons from other railroads are included. You get the drill. This time, it's every North American 464 type described in 15 words or less. Coming in non-streamlined and streamlined variations, streamliner dead, but non-streamliners survive. Coming in centered headlight and high headlight variations, with a Lord Baltimore variation included. A dinky tank engine used for commuter service in Birmingham, Alabama. Do you want your Hudson to come with or without a tender, sir? Streamliners and non-streamliners serving the Campac and first engine to ever come. More tank engines designed for commuter traffic and called 460 plus 4Ts because why not? Streamlined ones remembered and preserved, non-streamlined ones forgotten about. The inclusion of a photo of a C&O Hudson that happened to be numbered 311 may or may not be to spite fans of Clinchfield 311. The DeviantArt Mountain, not the actual 311. Sleek streamliners built for the 400s and yet all forgotten about. Some upgraded with streamlining, but streamlining was removed. But at least several survive today. Nice locomotives. I sure do hope one doesn't hit a freight train and kill men. Rebuilt from a 284, became their number 1, but renumbered to 2499 later on. One of the lightest Hudsons and the biggest locomotives built for the Pine Tree route. Served the Hiawathas greatly, but the museum saw them as too modern for preservation. The lightest 464s in North America, with one still continuing its class's legacy. Sleek New Haven streamliners that technically survive through Sniper TF2 Pacifics. Would you like your Hudson Dreyfus, Commodore, Mercury, or non-streamlined, sir? Also, how long before that one guy in the comment does that History in the Dark, I want that steam engine thing? No, seriously, I kind of feel like radio fans, especially those who have watched History in the Dark, not all of them, but still, probably could not look at a New York Central steam engine and not say, I want that steam engine, even to save their own life. Handled the nickel plates passenger trains and still alive in St. Louis, Missouri. Now with a stripe in the middle for passenger service. And then outshined by Northern on the Wabash Cannonball. But none survived because Decatur didn't want 700. It would have been so nice to see a Wabash Hudson preserved, wouldn't it? Alright, and once again, that's it for this video. Again, cup inspiration, as well as inspiration from other 10 words or less videos. The next video in this style that I hope to do are all the 462 Pacifics, and given the list, I think things will have to be different the next time around. Even so, all credits go to the original owners of the photos and videos as shown here. Also, special thanks to Western Ohio Interurban History for voicing part of the bit in the middle of the video. Go check out his channel if you haven't already. Anyways, thanks for watching, and until next time, have a good day.